Ah, Death Note. You know it, you love it. It's a legendary anime for a reason, right? We all remember that incredible high-stakes game of cat and mouse between the genius Light Yagami and the master detective L. I mean, it's a true clash of intellects that we fans have been debating for years. But what if I told you that this entire epic battle was actually over before it even really began? Okay, let's just dive right into this, because the theory is as simple as it is, well, kind of powerful. The idea is this. Light, for all his so-called genius, made one fatal mistake with his very first major move. So his entire downfall, it wasn't some long, drawn-out battle of wits. Nope. It was sealed. Done. In a single moment of pure arrogance, right back in episode 2. All right, first up, a genius's first mistake. We're going to break down the Lind L. Taylor trap. So let's set the scene, right? It's super early in the story. Kira has just popped up, criminals are mysteriously dropping dead from heart attacks, and the entire world is freaking out. This is when the enigmatic Detective L decides, okay, it's time to confront this unknown killer directly. And this is L's genius opening move. He gets a death row inmate, has him go on TV claiming to be L, because he just knows Kira's ego can't resist a direct challenge. But here's the crucial part. The broadcast is limited. It's only being shown in the Kanto region of Japan. And Light? Oh man, he's so full of himself, believing he's a god, completely untouchable. He takes the bait, hook, line, and sinker. He scribbles down the name, and boom, Lind L. Taylor drops dead on live television. And just like that, the entire game changes. I mean, just think about the sheer amount of information Light just handed over for free. Before this moment, what did L really know? He had a hunch, maybe a vague guess. He thought Kira might be in Japan, but he had zero proof, nothing confirmed. But after Light kills the decoy, well, suddenly, L knows for a fact that Kira is a real person, that he can kill remotely, and, this is the big one, that he is located specifically in the Kanto region of Japan. In one move, Light went from being this phantom, this global ghost, to just a guy with a local address. Okay, next section, the cascade of errors, or how one little mistake led to so many more. See, the crucial point here is that this wasn't just a one-off slip-up. Getting outsmarted so publicly, that really wounded Light's pride. But instead of, learning from it and being more careful, he did the opposite. He doubled down. And that triggered a whole cascade of unforced errors. I mean, just look at the blunders that followed. First off, he kept killing criminals at these super predictable times. That's what allowed L to figure out, hey, this guy's probably a student with a fixed schedule. Then, he just couldn't resist experimenting with the Death Note, showing off its weird, supernatural rules. But the biggest blunder of all, he used confidential police info you swiped from his dad's computer and then acted on it. I mean, that just drastically narrowed the suspect list down to, what, someone with a direct connection to the police task force? Come on. So yeah, look at how much Light basically helped his own worst enemy. He essentially handed L a perfect profile on a silver platter. Hey, L, you're looking for a student in the Kanto region with access to top-secret police data. I mean, seriously, how many people could possibly fit that description? Light practically drew a giant target on his own back. Which brings us to our next point, the power of inaction. Because we have to ask, what was the winning move? If challenging L was the fatal mistake, what should a true genius have done instead? Well, the answer is almost laughably simple. Yep, he should have done nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's it. The single most powerful strategy available to Light was just to do nothing. Let that guy on TV say his piece, just carry on like nothing happened. Don't engage, don't react, reveal absolutely nothing. Strategic patience was the key, and Light, well, he just didn't have it. You have to remember what the Death Note is. We're talking about a completely untraceable, magical weapon. Nobody on Earth even knows something like this could possibly exist. If Light had just refused to play L's game, L would have been chasing a ghost. I mean, sure, he might have suspected a student, but he would have been forced to investigate millions of students all across the country with absolutely zero concrete evidence. The task would have been impossible. And this whole do-nothing strategy could have been paired with a much smarter practical approach. Forget all those complex hiding spots. Light could have just torn out pages as he used them and, burned the evidence. Then he could just carry around a mostly blank notebook. Think about it for a second. If L ever got close enough to search his room, what would he find? A blank notebook. That's not suspicious for a student. That's completely normal. He could have been hiding in plain sight the whole time. Okay, moving on. Let's debunk some counter-arguments. Specifically, what about the second Kira? Because I know what some of you are probably screaming right now. There's a big, big wrench in this whole do-nothing plan, and her name is Misa Aman.
Right? The arrival of a second, much more reckless Death Note user, that's a massive variable. So wouldn't her actions have just exposed Light anyway, no matter what he did? And you know what? It's a totally fair question. But when you really break it down, the answer is probably not.
Here's why. First off, Misa only acted so boldly because she saw Kira openly challenge L on television. If that big public spectacle never happened, her entire approach might have been way different. But hey, even if she did show up, Light's best strategy would still be the same. Do nothing. Their goals were pretty much aligned. He could have just let her do her thing. And without Misa sending all those reckless messages to the police, she would have been just as hard to track down as the original Kira. It would have just been more chaos for L to try and sort through. All right, let's bring it all home. Pride before the fall, the true reason for defeat. So, if the winning strategy was so simple, why didn't a supposed genius like Light even consider it? Well, it all comes back to the central theme of the story, and the real reason for his downfall. You see, Death Note isn't a story about a perfect criminal with a flawless plan. It's a tragedy. It's about how a single fatal flaw, that overwhelming pride, that massive God complex, can corrupt and ultimately destroy even the most brilliant mind. Light just couldn't stand the idea of being challenged, and that massive ego is exactly what L's so expertly exploited. And really, that's the whole point from a storytelling perspective, isn't it? An emotionally detached, perfectly rational person with a Death Note, they'd be unbeatable. They'd use strategic patience, never reveal themselves. They'd simply never be caught. But let's be honest with ourselves, that wouldn't make for a very interesting story, would it? The flaws are what make this whole cat and mouse game so damn good. And that really just leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Is that fatal flaw, that one moment of human error, what truly makes a story great? Does a character need to be imperfect for us to get invested in their journey, whether it's their rise or their fall? It's definitely something to think about the next time you're watching your favorite show. What's the fatal flaw that makes it all work?